Welcome back aboard BLERD Force 1 with your boys Mo and Ladi. And today we are reviewing My Adventures with Superman Season 2, the season premiere episodes 1 and 2. They're entitled More Things in Heaven and Earth and Adventures with My Girlfriend. It's all coming to you from Cartoon Network and streaming on Max. So, what do we think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Ladi, look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. And it's also Jimmy and Lois too, I guess. Superman is back, my dude. I've been so anticipating this. Season 1 of My Adventure with Superman was dope. Like, way better than it had any business being. And I know you and I were pretty hyped about it last season, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Loved it.
Yeah, it was great. Can you believe though how few people have actually watched this show? It's kind of amazing to me. Like, I got to meet a lot of new people because of X-Men 97, and animation seems to be like having a moment right now. And so I kind of had to put people onto this. I was like, you guys, if you're missing X-Men 97, maybe go to this. And I'll honestly, after we review this, maybe it's not quite right, but I don't know about you. I really had a great time with these first two episodes. And unfortunately, I don't think they necessarily come off in a good comparison with X-Men 97, but that's not because they're not good. It's just, you realize this is a different show. But Ladi, before I get more into my thoughts, Ladi, what did you think about it?
Oh, I loved. You know how I feel that Superman was made to be an anime because his character perfectly represents a shonen character. And oh yeah, I loved. It's like you said, it's not X-Men 97, but it's a damn good show. It is a damn good show. It's like one of my gripes of X-Men 97 is in this show as well. Only 30-minute episodes. As soon as you get into it, it's over. But I really enjoy it. It seems more and more as I'm watching it, it looks more. It's using that Vox Machina, invincible like art style animation. It's a little bit more rounded to look more anime like, but you can see with one character especially, he looks just like the bearded characters in Vox Machina, and that's Jor-El. He like when you actually see him talk, he looks like almost every bearded character in Vox Machina.
Yeah, and I don't think Studio Mirror did this, but I could be wrong. But there are certainly certain animation studios where they are doing anime inspired, kind of design, but for American productions like this. I mean, we even saw that somewhat with X-Men 97. Though I will have to say, I think there's more money behind X-Men 97 than this show. But
by far.
But and it shows, but in the animation, but still, this is a damn fine looking show. I think this remember we were talking about like Totally Spies probably is one of the first ones where we really saw Western animation that really kind of goes after the anime style, and they lean into that a lot here. What I particularly liked about this is that Superman lore is really being, slowly unfolded before us in a really, quite clever way, I think, by building out the rogues. Not, I don't want to call it the rogues gallery, but the nemesis for Clark Kent. We get to see superheroics and all that stuff. He's in the cape. He does all that stuff. We see his backstory with his dad, and finally kind of connect with that, and the the threat of Kryptonian threat, or that outer worldly threat that's hinted at, and potential for finding Supergirl. And that's all cool, but then they're smart enough to reel it back in and remember that actually this story is about my adventures with Superman. So Jimmy and Lois are equal partners in this, and we get to see a lot more of them. Lois and her dad, and trying to help get him out of prison. Jimmy being a millionaire that's losing his money because he don't know how to keep money, but also that he's basically Mr. Beast for the Daily Planet. Is that a good call? Is he Mr. Beast for?
Wow. Wow. That is actually a very good. That was a very.
I
good
was watching
comparison.
that part where he was like, Perry was like, "All right, here's your team and make it happen," and they're just running. And it's the little kids that were in the first season that were kind of like the delivery kids, and then I forget the guy's name, but the other guy, and then Cat, and he's kind of having to corral them, and they're just throwing stupid ideas out and being weird. And I was like, wow, that must be Mr. Beast trying to figure out how to do a video every time with his crew. And I loved it. I love that that's Jimmy's whole world right now. And I loved that part where he's like, how they won't listen to me? How are these interns aren't listening to me? And Perry was just like laughed his ass off at him. And I was like, you know what? That's a great joke. Look, there's so much to like in this. I contend, and Ladi, tell me if you agree with this. The writer's room on this show understands Superman so well that this probably is the best. Not of the iterations I've seen. Now, mind you, I haven't seen Superman and Lois, but I've heard that's really good. But of the ones I've seen in the last 15 years, this is probably, I'll even say 20 years, going back to Superman Returns. This is probably the best iteration of actual Clark Kent, Kal-El Superman, in the sense of knowing and understanding why he is the way he is, what makes him tick, and what makes him Superman. Is that a fair? Do you think I'm on the right track there?
Oh, you're 100% right. This is probably the second best representation of Superman that I have seen since the 90s animated series and the 2003 Justice League show. Superman is not sad and depressed and all this stuff. He's a Boy Scout and he's full of life. He is, like I said, he is a shonen anime character. He's Naruto. Believe it.
I want to say actually there was a scene that made me think about that. It was when in the second episode where the little boy he comes up and he's like, he says, yeah, do y'all know Superman? Because it's Clark Kent and Lois Lane, so of course they know him. They're his friend. And the way he's like, can you help me find my dad? And you see Clark go over and kneel down to him, and he didn't even have to have the cape on. You knew that was Superman listening to this boy asking for help, and you knew he was going to do whatever he could to find this boy's dad. And I was like, that right there, that's the writer's understanding Superman. And like, it stands in such stark contrast to many of the iterations we've seen that just don't get that part of his character that makes him, arguably the greatest superhero that's ever, existed in comic books. I mean, like that hit me so hard. I was like, wow, that's Superman for me. But I did interrupt you. You were saying about the iteration and why they got it right.
Oh yeah, this is who Superman is. Like I just, some people, I just love how the internet is just discovering the Snyder stands. They're just like, these people actually exist, and I'm like, we've been trying to tell you guys for the past 3 years that these people exist. Y'all been ignoring us. We deserve an apology and a shout out, because we were warning you guys. Anytime you say anything bad about Snyder's story, how dare you? Snyder is a masterpiece. He is Shakespeare in motion. I'm just like, oh God. That is how they feel.
I just wonder if this could have been the Superman. Like, I really hope James Gunn is aiming for this level, and I feel like probably so. It's just like this is such a joyful iteration, even though there is some really messed up shit going on in this show. They're experimenting on humans with, what is it, Kryptonian derived technology. Lex Luthor shows up, and he's going to be a piece of crap. And
The
and
B words of the B words.
well, I will
You
also
know.
say this: he looks. I think they're channeling Jesse Eisenberg.
No, I'm not
Let
talking about Lex Luthor. F Lex
Oh
Luthor.
no,
We
no,
know
you're
Lex
talking
Luthor.
about
No,
Amanda
we're
Waller
talking
bit.
about Amanda.
The a
Oof.
man. Oh, I was like, she wakes up ready to you know, just mess everyone's fucking day up, and she's with it. I did, she's teaming up with Lex Luthor again. He's seemed to be channeling Jesse Eisenberg, but like not in a weird way. He's very much an anime super genius villain. The look of him, and I'm
Yeah,
absolutely there for it.
he has the glasses.
Yeah,
I can't
I
wait for
can't.
him to
Yeah,
push him up.
and then the light catches.
And he talks to Superman, and he pushes.
I mean, like for real, like, and I even I even love about the like the first episode was really again lore building with the Fortress of Solitude and everything like that. The second episode, like what kind of really got me, um, in the episode, what Superman, he's going through it, he's fighting all this stuff, and at the same time, he's doing all this stuff for Lois. He's like, but I got to make a grand romantic gesture. And I love that in the midst of all of the stuff that's happening, they're breaking people out of, this prison where they're being experimented on illegally. And he's having to face people that kind of have power. I forget the name of the agent, but he had some kind of like, powers or whatever that sort of hurt Clark, but not really. But in the midst of all that, he keeps thinking, man, am I going to do Valentine's Day right? Because everyone keeps saying that my Valentine's Day idea sucked, and I need to do a grand romantic gesture.
I love how his dad was like,
ooh,
oh,
you probably got to do.
If I did this to your mother, I had to do a grand romantic gesture. He's like, you too.
Oh, and it's such a good, fun little joke. Like that's what we need. I really truly think
is freaking hilarious, man.
Really truly think that's the sort of thing we need from Superman right now. Is this is the sort of feeling I need joy out of this. Is the show super deep in terms of theme? No, it has some themes and stuff like that, but these aren't huge thought provoking like gray area deals. Clark Kent is going to do the right thing because he's Clark Kent. That's who he is. He was raised by Martha and Jonathan Kent. That's the sort of person he is. He's worried, am I human enough? And what does Lois say? He's like, do you have a problem with dating me because I'm not human? She was like, do you have a problem with dating me because I am human? I was like, that's a cute, like that's the sort of stuff I need out of this. It feels refreshing because it is refreshing, and wholesome. What is there, Ladi? What's wrong with having wholesome superhero fare? We got enough The Boys and Invincible. Can't we have the Boy Scout?
I mean, even Invincible has some of its moments, even though it gets freaking ripped out with like the whole thing with like Amber and Mark, and just all of a sudden she just shows up and says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill her." By the way,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I agree. Like, it's okay to have little wholesome moments of, like you said, with Invincible. Like, I mean, like with this show, instead of just always being violent. I do hope that when they get to like season 3 or season 4, they do make it a little bit more mature. Keep it still anime-ish, but I would like it to be just slightly more mature.
Yeah. Well, we certainly have a lot to look forward to. Obviously, Supergirl, that's been teased. Who is this big adversary that wiped out the Kryptonian Empire? Obviously, Zod's still out there. How did he get out of the Phantom Zone? Well, my other question is, are we ever going to see the Bottle City of Kandor? If we do, and who, they were talking about Brainiac, the Brainiac system. I think it's pretty clear that there's a regular Brainiac, and these were just offshoots. So there's a lot to be explored. Plus, Project Cadmus and Checkmate are a problem. Amanda Waller will not go quietly. We know that for sure. And General Lane is going to be staying with Clark and Jimmy. I'm sure that won't be terrible. So lots of cool stuff coming up. So, but we really like this episode. But what did you guys think about it? What did you think about what we had to say? Get down to the comment section and leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blerd_force1 on Instagram and on Threads, and super_not_funny show on TikTok. And while you're down there, do us a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see videos just like this. All right, thanks for joining us. Come back next week. We're going to talk about episode 3 of My Adventures with Superman Season 2. Until then, I've been Mo, your commentator extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, and lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.